the calculated fields for 2013 and 2014. That's what we did right here. So all this is saying is that if a value is equal to 2013, then display the value. And as we saw when we brought out this calculation, it will only display data if the year is equal to 2013. It's null when it's equal to 2014.
Okay.
We do the same thing for 2014. We then created some basic math, and you opted to subtract the sum of 2014 from the sum of 2013.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that difficulty that I was running into where it was double displaying the data, had to do with the fact that we didn't have a distinct period number. Rather, you had that combined field where it included the period as well as the year.
Okay.
I created a calculated field that's just called period number, taking the right two values.
Okay. Okay.
And then we place the calculation. The 2014 minus 2013 is a view.
Okay.
So that we can see those numbers. And to get the coloring, what I did was I added this KPI, which just says if it's greater than 0, that way when it's positive, it displays as a green value, and if it's negative, it displays as an orange value.
Okay.
And those are all the moving parts.
Okay. So if I want to see...
Does that make sense?
It does, I think so, yeah. So for example, for period 10, what I don't understand is why for several of these there's no data. So for example, Unify York, I don't see any data for P10.
So let's see, that'd be our...
Keep going. It's at the bottom. I just know that's a big location that's got a lot of volume in it. So.
Okay. So if we view the underlying data,
so there's cases there, and
looks like there may not be data for 2013. We can show all fields. Let's take a look at this. Sort by our year.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there is no value for 2013 here.
Okay, something's not right. Something's not right.
I definitely think that there may be some data quality issues here.
I think it has to do with. Let's go back to the Excel spreadsheet for a second. Let's go there for a second and.
Okay, if you click, you'll have control.
Okay. Do I have a filter on?
Yeah, it does look like we only have 2014 data there.
Okay, why is that? That's weird. Why is that? Do I have any kind of filter on? Is there a filter? Oh, wait. That's York. I don't see any other kind of filter. Okay, so, all right. So we're just saying there's, I'll have to figure out what's going on here, why there's no 2013. Okay, but going back to, like, for example, the Tableau here, okay. With that being said, I'll figure out why there isn't. I'll get someone to fix that. I guess the question then is, in my mind, well, how do I get back? How do I see the, okay, there it is. So for where I have data in P10, first of all, to get the overall plus or minus, here are the questions I'm trying to answer to myself are, okay, in period 10, was our business up or down? And we're saying this is basically the difference. So then we should be able to total it, right? Just go to analysis total. Oops. Oh, your control.
Yeah, so what we could do is if you want it for a particular period, and say analysis totals, you show column grand totals.
Yeah, then I can say for P9, it looks like P9, the majority of the miss was in Burris, Atlanta. I mean, granted, we know there's a lot of voids here in data, but P9, 1,276 of the negative 2648 was Burris, Atlanta. Okay, let's see. And then if we copy that for a second, I guess, I'd like to also figure out which Tazo SKUs are the problem. So this is a geographic look, and then I would want to have a SKU look, and then a geographic by SKU look. So what I'm trying to get to is, what's the problem? Is it Burris, Atlanta? Is that the problem? And then within overall, and then within Atlanta specifically, is it certain SKUs or not? So that's where I would probably overlay the material description.
So the great thing about the way that we did the math for this value is that you can iterate on this view using any different dimensions. So this is going to be the customer view, is that correct?
Sure, that's fine.
And then if you wanted to duplicate this, you could duplicate this whole sheet and then replace this value with anything else that you wanted. So for geographic, is that state or...
Actually, no, material description is what I would say. We would add SAP material description. There we go.
So you could just go through and replace that. Do the same type of analysis.
Okay. Great. Okay, passion. Okay. Then, okay, great. And then I guess the question is, I would want one where I combine them, customer and material description view.
Okay. So what we would do is duplicate this. And so is that customer sold or?
It would be whatever that one was. Yeah, SAP sold to...
Sold to customer. Okay. Ooh. So we want this to normal.
Oh wait, hold on. We picked the wrong one. It's customer name, the one right below it. SAP sold to customer name. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Yep. All right.
That looks better.
Yeah, and is there any what would you recommend in terms of a visual of that? Like, that's a lot to kind of take in. Like, how would I show, what would be the easiest way to show where the biggest miss is? So, for example, it looks like, just one small example is in P10, Burst Logistics, it looks like it was the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one down was a problem because it was negative 176. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of highlight, the customer, and then specifically within the customer, the specific item that's causing the problem. Because Burris Atlanta is fine. That was actually up. It was all positive.
Exactly. So you're strictly looking for the largest miss, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to be able to say in just a few bullets, in period 10, here's what happened. Our business was down. It was driven by these 3 customers, and then within these 3 customers, it was these 5 products or whatever.
Absolutely. So what I would do is create a dashboard where you had these in a view like this. You then would be able to utilize, and you could obviously format this so it looks a little bit better, but close this out and close this out. Like that. You can then go through and say, I want to use this as a filter. And you could say, this appears to be a major issue. What was happening here? Here's the combination that was happening. These are what the problems were within that particular area.
Okay, so when I click on customer view, it filters material and combined?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
So, Bruce, do you have any additional expert help desk hours, do you know?
Yes, I do. Okay.
If you would like, we could spend another hour either tomorrow or later in the week really polishing this up.
Yeah, that'd be great. I've got actually 9 more hours, and I've got several of these I need to kind of to pump out. So that would be great. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good use of this time. It would be good to, I mean, we have the base now and the understanding of what the data shape is. The calculations that we're creating should be portable. Mm-hmm. When you figure out what's going on with the underlying data and why we're missing some of 2013. So that way you don't have to recreate any work, but we can really talk about creating some tailored visuals to kind of communicate these biggest misses as you're phrasing them.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't I do this? Why don't I figure out what happened to P13, and then we can, well, I know we have a few minutes left here. Should we just work on that a little bit more, or should I show you my other question?
I think if I can show you, if you're happy with where we are right now, if you want to kind of give me an idea of what the other questions are,
okay,
I can then kind of keep those in mind going forward.
Okay. All right. So let me just, great, let me go over to